It's not because you're ugly. It's not because you're short. It's definitely not because you're broke. In this video, I'm going to tell you the true reason why you are single in college. So before I tell you the true reason why you are single in college, let me tell you my dating experience during college. So I had come from a IIT JEE coaching class when I was in the 12th grade. In the IIT JEE coaching class, the ratio of guys to girls is like 59:2 or 50:3 or something insane like that. So what ended up happening is over the course of 2 years, I completely forgot how to talk to women. I completely forgot that, women are somewhat different from men, and, the way you talk to women has to be very different from the way you talk to your boys. Come college. I am now in a computer science college. The ratio is still pathetic. It's like 50:10, but it's still very different from the ratio back when I was in the 12th grade. And all of a sudden now I have female friends. And I'm interacting with females on a day-to-day basis. It's not as if I spent 6 months without talking to a single female other than my mother. And I truly did not understand why it was so difficult for me to get a girlfriend during college. Honestly, it was something that I truly struggled with, but now when I look back in hindsight, it was all obvious. The first biggest problem that guys have in college is that they have a scarcity mindset. And this is true especially in engineering colleges. If you have the opinion that, any girl works, I just want a girlfriend, you're not going to get it. And I know that they're all basically the same, especially during college when they're like 19, 18 years old. Most people do not have a personality of their own. I'm not talking only about girls, I'm talking about guys as well. So I know that you're completely fine with any of the girls, but if you go with the mindset that, anything works, it's not going to happen. You need to be very, very, very selective about the girl that enters your life. You need to be very, very, very selective about which girl you end up investing your time on. And even though they are all essentially very similar, you still have to go with the mindset of, is she right for me? You don't have to go with the mindset of, am I good enough for her? And this is a big, big, big problem that guys, especially in Indian engineering colleges, face. I find it extremely funny that, and I've talked about this in a video in the past, if a girl who looks like the great Khali is just because she's a girl is in an Indian engineering college, she's going to get an insane amount of attention from guys, and the amount of attention that she'll get from guys is way more than any guy will ever get from a girl in his whole life. And now that you know this, now that you know that every girl in your college is getting bombarded by hundreds, if not thousands of guys a year, you need to be very, very different. You need to be very, very, you need to stand out. Which brings me to the second point. Guys love blaming factors that they cannot control. And this is crazily true. When I talk to guys about, I went out with this girl, blah, 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 they say, that's because you have money. I don't have money. Or even if I do now, I did not have it when I started going out with girls. The second thing I'll say, because I don't have a six-pack. No, I don't have a six-pack. I'm like 100 plus kgs and like 5'10". So none of that matters. And especially if it's a factor that you cannot control, like who your father is, or how short you are, or how big your is, it's completely stupid to be fixated on those things. A 6-foot guy with 6-pack abs can very, very likely get less girls than a guy who knows how to talk to women. He can be cutthroat ugly, he can be very, very short, and none of that matters. So stop blaming factors that you cannot control. See, everybody's dealt a certain set of cards, and in any card game, you don't try to wonder why you were dealt this certain set of cards. Your move in the game is to play these cards the best way you can. So you just have to become the best version of yourself. And something you'll realize soon enough is that there is basically no competition, especially in India. There is almost zero competition when it comes to females. Most women are settling with guys that they are not attracted to. And if you talk to a large amount of women, you'll hear this. They'll say, I don't really like this guy, but it's so difficult for me to find a nice guy. I've spent so much time going out on dates, and let me just date him instead. And this is so incredibly common in India, especially in like engineering type settings, that you need to understand that just being slightly above average is going to just change the whole ball game for you completely. The third factor, and this is something I've already touched upon, is that there is nothing differentiating you from anyone else. And there's nothing wrong with this. During an engineering college, everyone is basically the same. Everyone's day looks almost the same. You spend the same 8 hours or so in college, and then after that you spend the same 4 or 5 hours doing what everyone else is doing, such as going for parties or studying or sitting in the library or hanging out with friends. That's basically what everybody else does. If you want to stand out, if you want to be the guy who gets a large amount of women, you want to be the guy who's different from everybody else. And it does not have to be in a good way. You don't have to be the guy who looks better than everybody else. Of course that works, but you just have to be different. Think of it from a girl's perspective. When she's looking at 10 guys who all have the exact same personality, who all spend the same amount of hours in college, during the weekend partying, doing the exact same things, who is she going to choose? She's just going to choose the one who asks her out first. And if she doesn't choose the one who asks her out first, she's just going to choose one at random. And you need to completely understand this fact that if you're not weird, if you're not different from everyone else, there's nothing special about you. And there is nothing that, makes you stand out, especially in a setting like an Indian engineering college where the ratio is completely messed up. In the end, dating is a numbers game. If you ask out 10,000 women, the likelihood that one is going to say yes is almost certain. So what I would recommend is to just not spend your time on girls in your college. You have to find other ways, because what happens after you graduate college? Are you still going to be talking to girls in your college, or are you hoping that you get into a workplace that has a large amount of women so you can talk to women? No, none of this is going to work. Especially in the workplace, I completely don't recommend spending your time trying to attract women who are working with you, because that always backfires in the end. So you're going to have to come up with a system of what works for you. This could be dating apps, which I definitely don't recommend. This could be using Instagram or using social media to get a lot of inbound, DMs or people sliding into your DMs. But you essentially have to create a system where you're not heavily reliant on your college ecosystem or your immediate surroundings to be attracted with girls. And a funny thing that guys do, and I completely don't condone this, and I find it completely disgusting, is that guys will go on the street and start asking out girls. I'm always very reluctant to talk about dating and social life on these videos, especially because the mindset in India is a bit weird. And if I tell someone that I've talked to like 3,000 girls over the last 4 years, they'll be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Without trying to understand that I was doing that not because I want to marry or date all 3,000 girls. I'm doing that because I want to learn how to talk to girls. I truly believe that a lot of things in the world are games of volume, and if you talk to a large volume of women, you will over time become better and better at it. And but still, if you have anything that you'd like me to talk about, I'm pretty candid about what I say, and I don't try to sugarcoat my words. If you'd like me to talk about anything, then please leave it in the comments below, and definitely subscribe to my channel to watch more of these videos. Thank you.